Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, September 27, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Salves today reported on the fiscal operations of the government, noting that while the overall figures don't look as bad, they continue to maintain the fiscal overturn and there remains some challenges. The Prime Minister noted that as a resource-scarce country, his government has been doing a lot with the resources available.
This is the story up to the end of August 2023. Total revenue and grants moved from, when you compare with 2022, from $445 million to $514 million, an increase by nearly 16%. Of that, the current revenue moved from $440 million to $481 million, a 9%, just over 9% increase. Not all the revenue items are up. Some are up, some are down, some are more or less stable, and we have to interrogate those which are down, why they are down. Whether it's a reported situation that they may be picked up, the report is maybe picked up next month, no Johnny P.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or whether some people owe some money and it wasn't collected yet and it's to be collected. You know, that kind of way now.
Yeah.
I'm just giving the headlines.
The Prime Minister also pointed out that there was an increase of 15% in total expenditure this year compared to the same period last year.
Total expenditure went up from 524 million to 602 million, almost 15%. And of that total expenditure, current expenditure went up by 8%, from 447 million to 484 million.
Okay.
The capital expenditure moved from last year at this time from $77 million to $118 million now. But this 118 is more. It is more than 118. But there's some matters which have to come to account. The current account deficit declined from 6.6 million to 2.8 million. And the primary balance declined from 30.8 million to 29.8 million. So, as I say, we're never out of the woods there, you know, Johnny P.
Yeah.
But we are holding it together.
Yes. Holding the fort, yes.
And going forward.
The distribution of houses built for persons in the red zone in the northern part of the island who were affected by the eruption of Volcano continued on Tuesday, September 26th. At a ceremony at Lot 3 Orange Hill, 18 persons out of 21 received keys to their houses. The 21 houses are in addition to 27 houses built in the area for volcano-affected residents. Speaking at the handing over ceremony, Minister of Housing Orlando Brewster appealed to the house owners to take good care of them.
So I want to urge the homeowners this afternoon. There were a lot of resources placed into these lovely homes. And I want you to make sure that you cherish these homes. They are gifts. And I always say this when I speak. Gifts are not to be sold. And I don't expect anyone to sell any of these beautiful houses up in Orange Hill.
Minister Brewster said that 20 additional houses that are being built in Sandy Bay should be handed over to their owners by the end of October 2023.
Half of it. Because today we are handing out 21, but in the next few weeks, we will be back at it again with another 20. So this is only half. But this was made possible through the efforts of the main contractor, which is the Road, Buildings and General Services Authority, also known as BRAXA, Ken Bartholomew and his excellent team And we must acknowledge them. Put your hands together for them this evening. This had a project committee that was chaired by the Ministry of Housing, of which I'm responsible for. But to have this today, it is not possible without money. And the funding for these homes came through the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment of the Mustique Charitable Trust. And I think they deserve a rounding applause this evening. And they have been doing stellar work across the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, Mr. Pritchard, I want to give you a kudos, you and your team. Also, we had the Ministry of Transport and Works, headed by your very own parliamentary representative, the Honorable Montgomery Daniel. We had engineers from Housing and Land Development Corporation, engineers from Braxa. We had the subcontractors. We had the laborers, the carpenters, the mason, the tilers, and even the cleaners.
Meanwhile, Area Representative Montgomery Daniel said the constituency of North Windward continues on its development path, especially in the area of housing.
I am happy, and I'm sure many that are sitting in the audience, they are happy as to what is before their very eyes. You are seeing a development that has never been within this constituency over the years. I'm an agriculturist by training. And I've said it to the Minister of Agriculture, that my heart goes out for the beautiful lands that is being used for housing. But what can we do? Because coming out of our history in this area, our people were forced to live among riverbanks. They were forced to live among the coast of the various villages. And so these areas are threatened day by day as we seek to fight the difficult climate changes and the actions that are before us.
Occupants operating the prime shops in Glen will only pay $500 monthly for their rent. This is according to Minister of Finance and Area Representative Camila Gonsalves, who at the opening ceremony of the Glen Marketplace on Monday noted that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is providing the facilities at a low cost to assist the new business owners to succeed.
And if you have to go in town or go somewhere, you rent somebody's house, you rent somewhere else, you can't afford to run your business. You're basically doing your business to pay the rent. And your business doesn't get an opportunity to grow. So we said in addition to grants, we will begin to provide locations for people who have a good idea, for people who have demonstrated a hard work ethic, and for people to, as the Prime Minister says, fly like eagles with their wings unclipped. Guess how much is your rent here? How much you think you're paying for rent in here? A little more than zero. $5 a month. The shop, for $60, the shop is yours for the year. So Maxi, I know you just charge $10 to locals and you just charge $15 to politicians for a haircut. But if you cut 4 politician head, your rent is paid for the entire year.
Gonsalves also noted that the shop operators can lose the shop if they fail to follow the requirements of the marketplace.
Have very few requirements for the shop owners. The requirements are these. If you say you're coming here to do a barber shop, do a barber shop. Don't turn it into a rum shop. If you come in here, you can't sell no illicit things here. If you come in here and you lock up your shop for a month and gone away and the shop is just sitting there derelict, then you lose your shop. Run your business. Strive. Work with us and we will work with you. Make this thing something for us all to be proud of. Now this side of the road, because of the way the shops are set up, we said we don't want food and beverage and those things over here. Just services, barber shop, computer repair, hair salon, variety shops. But on this side, which already has food and drink and those things, they will be able to continue to do food and drink on those things. So you come over here for your trim, you go over there, you sit down on a picnic bench, and you have a cool high room and enjoy yourself. And in the middle of this, the people of Glen, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, this becomes a thoroughfare and it becomes a hub of activity.
The shops at Glen, which include 3 commercial buildings and a restroom facility, were constructed at a cost of just under $500,000 EC. Over 70 goodwill, cultural and sporting ambassadors were introduced and recognized today at an introductory ceremony held at the Foreign Affairs Conference Room. Since 2001, a number of goodwill, cultural and sporting ambassadors were appointed by the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking at today's introduction ceremony, Minister of Public Service, Consumer Affairs and Sports Frederick Stevenson encouraged the ambassadors to engage the Vincentian youth in the schools and their respective communities to help them develop and advance their skills and talents.
Have a responsibility to the young people growing up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines today. I want to say to you who are involved in sports and who are also involved in culture that you can use the opportunity that you have as sporting and cultural ambassadors to go into the schools, into the communities and help our young people to advance and to develop. You can be mentors for our young people. I know Skiddy Francis does some work in some schools in areas with netball. I know that Nixu McLean does some work in his own area in terms of cricket development. I know that there might be many more who do that. I know Rodney is involved in the steel pan and he has the steel pan movement throughout the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we want to thank him.
Minister of Tourism Carlos James, who also addressed the event, said the ambassadors have an important role to play in fashioning and building this country's cultural and sporting disciplines.
Persons here who can make valuable contributions, and we have to work with them both in tourism and the arts and of course in sports. For instance, the Tourism Authority, I'm very sure in the United Kingdom, Ambassador Mike Findlay is known to a lot of people. And just as how in Barbados they celebrate Sir Gary, we certainly have one of the very first West Indies international cricketer, Ian Allen, who is now a sporting administrator, has done a significant amount of work internationally as well. And we have to really work with you to see how best we can sell St. Vincent and the Grenadines and promote the destination for what it is. But also within the schools and our youth development work. I know Rodney's doing a lot of work in culture and so on and with PAN. But we have to see more dramatists and writers and poets who are coming out, and a name like Cecil Blazer Williams should be in Sandy Bay or Chomaka, honing the talent of the emerging creatives and vibrating skakes, and in relation to sports as well, the Paralympians. We have so many talented people in this room that the knock-on effect to that is the developmental work that we can all do.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines join the rest of the world today in celebrating World Tourism Day 2023. Since 1918, World Tourism Day is celebrated on September 27th each year to create awareness on tourism's contribution to economies throughout the world. This year, the theme for World Tourism Day is investing in people, planet, and prosperity, tourism, and green investments. According to the United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, it is aimed at highlighting the critical role tourism plays in sustainable development and the need for responsible and eco-friendly investments in the tourism sector. The international tourism body UNWTO says there is the need for more and better targeted investments for people, for planet, and for prosperity, noting that now is the time for new innovative solutions, not just traditional investments that promote and underpin economic growth and productivity. As part of the celebrations, the Ministry of Tourism earlier today joined its counterparts for the Caribbean celebration of World Tourism Day in the forum of a virtual forum organized by the Caribbean Tourism Organization, CTO. The forum was expected to bring together participating tourism professionals from the tourism public and private sector, academia, and regional and international development partners to share respective best practices and insights on the theme for World Tourism Day 2023. The Ministry of Tourism says it is currently finalizing plans for Caribbean Tourism Month activities, which are hosted annually in November. It says this year's activities will again aim to raise awareness about the importance of tourism to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and will be held in conjunction with SVG Tourism Authority and the SVG Hotel and Tourism Association. Sandals International has announced on its website that it will open its resort in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on March 27, 2024. The 350-room resort for guests is currently under construction at Bocament's Bay. According to Sandals' website, the all-inclusive resort in St. Vincent will provide stunning two-story overwater villas, beachfront butler villas, and unique rooms and suites. The resort is expected to employ some 800 people. At the job fair taking place at the Kingstown Baptist Church, Minister of Tourism Carlos James told Managing Director for the Eastern Caribbean of Sandals International, Winston Anderson, that they are ready and anticipating the opening of Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There are some exciting times ahead for tourism here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Additional flights, more hotels being built and constructed, and of course Sandals as well as a part of that. And we can see only an upward trend in tourism development here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we're happy to have you.
Great to be here.
On the job fair taking place here, the Sandals senior representative said over the 4-day period they are looking for a wide cross-section of team members for all departments to work Sandals, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Interviewing this week middle managers, and our general team members. So far, we're just elated with the reception, not only this time around, but ever since our visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the first time. The warmth, the hospitality, the friendliness of the people continue to demonstrate right through. And today we're seeing that again in full numbers. We're just happy with the turnout so far, and we expect over the next couple of days to certainly see and interview, as you mentioned, thousands. And when we're open, we're going to be looking at some 800 team members at this beautiful resort. And I use the word beautiful because it's truly going to be a gem of a resort. One of the things that we are going to be doing is extensive training, extensive exposure to every single person. So I want to say to everyone that whether or not you have the experience or not, it doesn't matter. We're looking for experience and we're looking for people with the warmth, the personality, attitude, etc., and that passion for the hospitality industry to grow. At Sandals, it's really about a career. It's not where you start or continue to say.
In other news, graduates of the Rotary Club St. Vincent Women Empowerment Program, Keisha McDowell, has said the past several weeks has been an unforgettable and heartwarming experience during a skills training exercise. Speaking at the graduation ceremony, McDowell said the training has allowed her to identify her passion for sewing and breaking boundaries.
In this course, it would have enlightened me more when it comes to combining colors, the elements of design, the elements of colors, the tools and equipments, and cutting and drafting pattern, and so much more. After we would have made some patterns, while looking at the finishing items, I realized that I can use patterns to create other stuff. And by doing so, I took the table runner pattern and I made a purse from it. And that brings out creativity.
The Rotary Club St. Vincent Women Empowerment Program was held for 6 weeks, offering skills training in a number of areas, including sewing. International Day of Sign Language was observed on Saturday, September 24th, annually across the world. The international theme chosen for this year's celebration was a world where deaf people everywhere can sign anywhere. Teacher at the School for Children with Special Needs at Kingston, Cindy Roberts, says a lot more persons today are getting familiar with how to communicate with persons who are hearing impaired.
In the past, there were like lots of stigma where people would tell them, you're retarded, or God breaks stick in your ears, or you're stupid, you're a dummy, and stuff like that. But recently, as the years go by and as the world become more technologically inclined and they're more exposed and the hearing impaired is being explained to them what it is, just like how someone might be wearing glasses. If there is, something happened to you, that doesn't mean that you should be put aside or anything. But as you sensitize them and you make them aware of what the deaf persons or hearing impaired is, I have not really encountered or witnessed much of any stigma.
Roberts, who has been a hearing impaired teacher for more than 20 years, is set to celebrate International Day of Sign Language. The school hosted a number of activities last Friday, September 22nd.
Did a small celebration at our school. So we start off with the hearing impaired class taking assembly in the morning, and then we had some involvement of teachers signing a short prayer and saying something in sign language for others to interpret without any verbalization of words. What we did was we had a communication wall, sign language communication wall, where each class would have walked around and do some observation, and they would see if they can understand any sign there, and they were rewarded if they got the answers correct. So we had introduction of a little sign language, teach them words such as excuse me, sorry, thank you, good morning, and such like. And then at the end of like a 3-minute session with the little ones and then a 5-minute session with the older ones, we asked them questions and they were given tangible rewards.
Here's a snippet of the hearing impaired class activities involving students of the School for Children with Special Needs, Kingstown.
Somebody who is deaf, right? What are you telling them then?
Good morning.
And then if you want to pass, excuse me, very good. And then if you've done something wrong, what would you tell the person that is deaf?
Sorry.
Right. And how would you sign sorry? Sorry. And how you have to put your face? Like if you're laughing in, oh, great, very good.